How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Um, in this video, we are going to be talking about obviously um, Riley Leonard, of course, and on if he's overhyped or if he's legit. Okay, because we've been hearing a lot of rumors behind the scenes that supposedly he's been showing like I guess skill, like he's been like lighting it up, supposedly in practice. But is that hype? Is that just hype or is that legit? Well, as of right now, I'm gonna say that it's probably just hype for like until I believe it, until I see it. Against Texas A&M because we've heard this before, like with our quarterbacks. Like we've heard that with Sam Hartman. We've heard that with Tyler Butner. So I think as of right now, I would probably say that it's all hype just until I see it. Um, And if he actually, again, if he like surprises me and like proves me wrong, then I'll come on here and admit that I was wrong. Like as I was saying, um, but right now I think it's just all hype. You know, we've heard this. I mean, we hear this every year. You know, we've heard this every year, and I think Notre Dame fans, including me, just want it to be true. You know, because we've been like let down basically for so many years. Um, So I really don't know what to think about that. I mean, I think Notre Dame is going to be a good team this year. I really do. If Riley Leonard is healthy, um, maybe he will light it up, you know. But I'm more believing it. I'm more on the side of like I was saying. I believe it when I see it, you know. And I'm not saying that Riley Leonard again is a bad athlete because he's certainly good. He's certainly a good athlete, and I'm sure he obviously works really hard, and I appreciate that, like, but I just don't think I don't think he's at the level of what people are saying, like, I just think he's another, like, version of Sam Hartman, but like, just more athletic, like, just a better runner, but not a great thrower, and if you know what I mean. Um, so I really don't think that. I think right now it's all hype personally until I see it first, because obviously week one Texas A&M, he's got to prove it on the field. If he's truly got all that skill, that they're saying in practice right now, then he needs to show it on the field. Same with the wide receivers. You know, if they're truly that good in practice and they're burning people, show it on the field. That's all I want. That's all I want. I want you to show it and prove that you're actually that good, because I'm not saying this team isn't good, but oftentimes they don't show it enough, like on the field, which is, you always hear about how certain wide receivers, certain quarterbacks, how they're like burning people in practice, but then when they get on the field, all of a sudden they don't show up at all, and they don't, you know. So it's just like, I'm not saying that Riley Leonard isn't a good quarterback. I'm sure that he's a good athlete. He did pretty good at Duke, but I don't think he's a level of athlete that and this is just, again, my personal opinion. Like, I don't think he's a level, I don't think he's an athlete that could take you to the playoffs or anything like that. That's really like the only thing that I had to, like, the only thing that that's just my opinion, my personal opinion. Um, and I just don't, I personally think that if Riley Leonard hasn't been practicing all this time, especially because, again, he's been injured, most of the time, most of the summer and the spring, like, if you really think about it, he has not had enough reps. So therefore, I don't think he's going to have much experience because he hasn't had enough reps. And I'm not trying to be negative or anything like that. I'm not trying to be negative. Like, I'm trying to be as honest as I can be. I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to be really honest right now. I'm not trying to put down this team or anything like that. Like, because, I love this team. I want them to win. And that's all I want. I want to see them win for once. I want to see them win something big. Because they haven't done it in a long time. Um, and that's kind of my thing. Like, if Riley Leonard goes out there and throws for 3,000 yards a game, well, then I'll come on here and admit that I was wrong the whole time, and I'll actually come on here and apologize to Riley Leonard at that point. But as of right now, I'm not going to overhype him because I overhyped Sam Hartman last year, even though Sam Hartman had bad coaching, which that's another thing, that he had bad coaching. Gerard Parker was inexperienced, so that had a lot to do with that too, why he didn't do as good. Because if the coaching isn't as good, you're not going to look all that great. So maybe if Sam Hartman had better coaching, maybe he would have been way better than what we saw. And I guess you can't really blame that on him. You can't really blame Sam Hartman for that, I guess, for like bad coaching and there's all these conservative, play calling, like not letting him throw down the field what he's basically what he does, which was disappointing, and I'm not going to blame Sam Hartman for that personally. Now looking back, because I was kind of blaming him at first, but now looking back, it's kind of like he had bad coaching. He had bad coaching. The coaches, obviously, Notre Dame's hiring process, wasn't that great at all. So that, to me, that's not Sam Hartman's fault. If the schemes are not that good, and the play calling isn't good, and they're just playing conservative the whole time, well, he's just not going to look as great, because if they let him throw the ball downfield like deep, what he was capable of, what he does, then he would have went. I think he would have had a better, especially if the wide receivers had separation. So those are like the main issues. So I'm not going to totally blame Sam Hartman for why they lost 3 games last year. I'm not going to totally blame him, because I don't think it's all his fault. But anyways, get back to the Riley Leonard thing. Like, Riley Leonard, maybe he is a better athlete, and yes, he will have Mike Denbrock, and he will have the wide receivers, and the wide receivers will be getting separation with Mike Brown. So, I mean, if he could throw the ball if he could somehow like my only question is he going to be able to, if he's like getting blitz, is he going to be able to get out of that situation, or is he going to get, sacked? That's my only thing. And yes, he will have better coaching, which I'm excited for. I'm excited. I think this team could be legit. I really do. I do think this team could be legit. If Riley Leonard could actually go out there and prove me wrong and prove everyone else wrong, then, this team could definitely make a run for sure. Especially, the wide receivers, number 1, number 2, the running backs, of course, are going to be, I think, really good this year. especially the wide receivers. I think the wide receivers is like the biggest. Like the wide receivers are going to be probably the most talented that we've seen in a long time. Um, and I think they're going to be a lot more like more athletic than they have been. Um, and they're going to be. I just think they're going to be more athletic. That's just my like. I really do. I think that Marcus Freeman has elevated this program to a different level. Like he's bringing in, like I was saying, top three classes, which is something that we're not really used to. Um, and same with the quarterback play. The quarterback play is starting to elevate. And if I trust anyone, I'm going to trust Marcus Freeman. But it's all about I got to believe it. I got to see it to believe it first. You know, Riley Leonard has to go out there and prove me wrong that he's actually truly that good. That's all I want to see. And I want to see the wide receivers actually show up as well, which I think they will. I really do. I think they will. I think Mike Brown's that was definitely a good hire, a good wide receiver. Like, I think he was definitely a good hire. Um, and you got to give credit to the administration for all that, for, pouring money out, basically getting him. And also, um, Mike Denbrock too. So, I mean, I think that's very exciting. Honestly, I think the wide receivers, are going to be the best that we've seen in a long time. But if Riley Leonard's not accurate, which is the main problem that I have, if Riley Leonard is not accurate, those wide receivers are not going to succeed because if he's not going to be able to throw, like he's not going to be accurate with the football, well, the wide receivers are not going to, of course, they're not going to look as good because he's not accurate. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. That's the thing I was saying. Like if Riley Leonard, that's the problem with him. I think like something that I personally just don't think he's accurate with the ball. And everybody is all saying that he's a step up and all that. That he's a better athlete. Than Sam Hartman, which he is. He's a better athlete, but is he a better thrower? That's the question. Like, can he throw the ball? Like, because in order to, I guess, be like a playoff quarterback, you have to be able to have both. Like, you have to be able to have a scrambling ability and a throwing ability. Like, you have to have both. And I just don't know if he has. I just don't know if he has any of that. So that's just, I guess, like my main thing. And I understand, yeah, Marcus Freeman had to get him because he had to, evaluate the talent on the roster. So he basically had to evaluate, his talent, basically talent that he has. Which I would expect that this year, I would hope that this year is the last year for the transfer portal, and we actually go with somebody on the roster, which I really do think that I think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to go with somebody on the roster, hopefully next year, either like CJ Carr or maybe CJ Carr, Kenny Minchey maybe, but I truly think it's going to be CJ Carr. And personally, I think it's sad that Angeli is not going to get his chance at all, especially if Riley Leonard plays the whole season and stays healthy. I'm going to be really sad, but I'm going to be disappointed by that because I think that I truly think that Angeli I truly think he should play over Riley Leonard. That's just my opinion. And a lot of people don't think he's as talented as Riley Leonard, but I do. I think he's actually better than Riley Leonard. I think he's actually a better thrower. Um, and he's got fast hands too. So that's the thing, and he's fast with his decisions too. So I think that if I think that's Notre Dame's main problem. Like they don't ever want to, I guess, go with the better quarterback. You know what I mean? Which has always been like their issue. Like they never want to go, with the better quarterback. Um, but all I gotta say is give Angeli a chance. Just give him a chance, bro. Give him a chance. I don't understand why. Like, okay, I understand that you don't really trust that he could take you to the playoffs or anything like that because he hasn't had much reps. I understand, but I seen it with my own eyes when they were facing Wake Forest and Pitt. I seen it with my own eyes, like I seen his talent. Like he's got fast arms, fast hands, as I was saying, quick with his decisions. Um, and yeah, he has that ability, and he's actually willing, I think, to work hard to get better, to be a national championship, type quarterback. So, um, and they're not letting him get his chance, which is absolutely just my main issue with it. You know, like they're not letting him get his chance. Like just let him to see what he can do on the field. You know what I mean? Like because I definitely think I personally think he's better. Like he's better than what people are saying, what people think. And I see it in him, just the way he throws the ball. He's fast with his decisions. So I personally think Notre Dame, I think they made a big mistake, by getting Ryan Leonard. That's just my opinion. My personal opinion. If they would have gotten another quarterback, or if they would have let Angeli get a chance, I think that they would be okay. I think they would go undefeated. And if Riley Leonard goes out there again, proves me wrong, and he leads us to the playoffs this year, well, then I'll come on here and admit that I was wrong the whole time. But I had to believe it. I'll believe it when I see it because we're hearing all this hype, about how much skill he has in practice and all that. And I don't want to go down that road of overhyping quarterbacks again like I did last year. So I'm not gonna do that until they show it against Texas A&M, or until he shows it against Texas A&M. So that's more of my thing. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think that it's all hype? Do you guys think it's legit? Do you think Riley Leonard is overrated, or you think he's underrated? Because as of right now, I'm gonna say he's overrated. Again, because we've had this problem. We've had this many times. We've had this happen before when people are overhyping a quarterback or whatever, saying, "Oh, well, they're lighting it up in practice," and then when they get on the field, they just don't look as good. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your guys' thoughts.